Peace family, so I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how you will have to learn how to communicate on the highest frequency possible. Because the way these demons is out here, they will retwist and tie up everything. So you'll have a bunch of people operating out here pretending as if they know how to communicate, right? But when you look at the substance and the ingredients that they're using, you can tell it's either artificially made or they're using the real ingredients and they're trying to manipulate you into thinking that it's something else. So it's kind of like when you say something and you ask somebody, you know, are they dating somebody? And they be like, no, but I talked to a couple people, you know, or no, but I'm out here exploring. That's their way of trying to twist the situation around. Small example. We have a lot of that going on out here. A lot of it. When I say it's a lot, you have to be at a space to where you communicating with people, you are being as direct as you possibly can. Not saying asshole-ish direct. You know, asshole-ish direct, I would call asshole-ish like calling people names while you're talking to them. Being honest and having to give it to them and they just take it weird, that's not asshole-ish. If I say something with some kind of weird derogatory adjective on the front of it, then you take that as asshole-ish. But if somebody just came up to me and said, man, what's up, Trak? You know, you black as a motherfucker. I wouldn't take that in like some kind of weird manner. I would just look at them like, oh, they shallow, they surface level. I am dark as a motherfucker. So what? You know what I'm saying? That's like me calling somebody bigger. Who cares? Like, that's just the obvious. You may not want people to say the obvious, but they're going to. You know what I mean? So being in a space to where you constantly have people manipulating communication. I was just talking to a buddy of mine, and we was talking about how a lot of people around us tend to say that they don't have time. And these are the people who just don't want to make the time. Some people want to seem more important than what they actually are. So they do little subtle things to try to make themselves more relevant than what they actually are. You know? We always make time for the things that we want, the things that we need, and the things that we value. You know what I mean? So when people are putting that statement out there saying that they don't have time, you have to understand that they don't want to make time for you. Or whatever circumstance or place or location that they could go to or is happening, they don't want to make time for it. And once you start getting that through here and through here, because it doesn't, this part is easy. The logic part is easy. Somebody tell you something, the logic happens easy. Oh yeah, I understand it. But when it hits here and your feelings and your emotions get involved, that's where you have to know how to keep your chakras aligned, and you got to understand that, all right, logically this is what it is. Emotionally, my body don't want to really perceive that in the way that they're giving it to me. Because it'd be numerous of times I've had conversations with people, I'll say one thing and then they'll not give me a direct answer just to flip it and say what I'm saying in their words, when all they had to do was say yay or nay, yes or no. You know what I mean? But the people who have to use a lot of words, they have to work spells on people. People who have to use a lot of words have to work their spells on you. You know what I mean? Some of us are talkers and we talk because of, you know, you may have just been in a neglectful space, and some of us are just talkers. We enjoy using our throat chakra. But you gotta understand, with some people, they have to talk a lot because they have to create those spells. You know what I mean? It's easier to manipulate your energy and your communication that way. So I had another associate of mine. I was talking to about how we get up and we can do entertainment things together, and we give each other life and energy, but we won't build anything together. Meaning, they don't want to build with me on any other kind of level, because I bring a lot of ideas to the table. You know what I mean? So, and understanding that, he didn't never really have to say it out his mouth that, oh, I don't want to build in that manner with you. I need to do this myself. I need to do that over there by myself. I need to figure this out myself. I need to figure this out myself. I need to keep talking about how I'm going to get to this space right here instead of focusing on what I can do now and what we can do now. You know what I mean? So, just understanding, like, our communication has been chopped into pieces, you know? So if you are trying to get better at communicating, you know, and understanding these spells and how people are deceiving and manipulating the language and the communication, you have to get to a space to where you are only focused on phone calls, FaceTimes, and in real lifetime engagements and interactions. These witches and these demons will make it seem like they have to text you more to learn you and know you more. No. When I was growing up, we didn't have phones, so you had to engage with people in real lifetime. So I would never believe that spell that, oh, I have to text you more before I give you my number. I got to talk to you more before I can meet you over here and do this. Back in the day, when you met somebody, you had to meet them again in real lifetime. There was no, oh, let me put this third party in the middle to make sure that everything is copacetic. You know what I'm saying? You should already know it's not copacetic when you don't have your father helping you pick your man. Simple process. So, if you really want to be safe out here in the streets, you need to do your background check on the man. Simple process. If you're not doing your background check, then that means you're just being a demonic female. And it's the same thing for the men. If you ain't trying to build with your partners that you out here drinking and entertaining and smoking and doing all this other shit with, you in the way. You know what I mean? You all the way in the fucking way. You know, before they had phones, we used to use yellow pages. But now we got phones and technology. So you'll have somebody be like, well, I dealt with a lot of wood in my life. You know, it's been wood everywhere, and I just, you know, you look like a piece of wood, and I'm going to put you in the wood category. It's like, bitch, look at my fruits. I'm the tree. I'm the tree. You dealt with wood. That means that this was manufactured. This wood was manufactured. It doesn't come stocked or natural like this. The tree comes stocked and natural. You can look at all these analogies and these things in life will help you stay out of that shitty communication space and understand that a lot of these beings and entities out here, they have to use these witchy spells because they know that they are not good beings in the inside. They know they have some weird, witchy, demonic ways about them. But because the Western society makes it normal, they're okay with it, you know? I had a female that I was chopping it up with recently. We never did anything physically. We hadn't even met in real lifetime. I think we only had a conversation for like 2 days maybe. Yeah, not even a whole 2 days. Less than 24 hours, you know what I mean? And you don't reach out to me being like, hey, handsome, you know, and trying to give compliments and these things, and then you don't even know what's up with me. You know what I'm saying? So you're an older woman. You don't have any children. You don't want any children. And you don't have no fucking availability. But when I tried to communicate these outwardly with the being, they was almost like in shocked that I was kind of saying these things, because I was like, yeah, well, X. I was like, oh yeah, well, none of these meet my criteria. You know, it was good talking to you, but I don't want to waste anybody else's time. This new Western ideology is trash. When I say it's trash, it is trash, you know. So if people are out here making it seem as if though they are just the busiest person in the world, then they should have all the money in the world. Because there's no way in hell that you're just going to be so busy and broke at the same time. That's not possible. Unless you're working an extremely low income job. You know what I'm saying? But even if you work in those, most of us are living right at our means. And then we overspend to fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? Most of us is living right at our means. And a lot of us out here trying to mingle and communicate and do things, and we aren't even fully healed or, you know, just got ourselves in a better space spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Because we all not broken. I don't always like to do that, we doing this healing thing. You know what I'm saying? Because the trees don't see themselves as healing. They see themselves as growing. Plants don't see themselves as healing. They see themselves as healing and growing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I always say, everything is an ingredient. It's an ingredient, you know what I mean? So healing and growing, it's a combination. And that's why it's important to make sure you are understanding the communications and the verbiage that people are using with you. And to try to get away from texting. Get the fuck away from texting. If you gotta send long paragraphs, if that's the only way you know how to engage and to communicate, people who only communicate through text messages, right? Demons, because it's easy to manipulate. You don't know anybody's emotion behind what they're texting. I could say, I'm having a great day, and really it's been shitty. But depending on how many emojis I put after it, and caps, and how I spell it, depends on how you would perceive it. You know what I mean? So, then you have the weak people, spirits and entities who are just... The demons are weak, right? But I'm separating, because you can be weak and not be demonic. You know, you don't have to have ill intentions for people to be weak. These demonic people are weak and they have ill intentions. They sign contracts to hurt and harm other people, including themselves. The weak people will use the text messaging as a form of strength for them, because then that means that they don't have to put themselves in as a vulnerable position with phone calls, FaceTimes, or in real life time. You know what I mean? And that's what we have to get back to. We have to stop abusing this technology. The more you abuse it, the more you lose it. The more you abuse it, the more you lose it. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to keep yourself sane, you want to keep a little peace in your life, or a lot of peace in your life, you got to understand, like, when you are talking to people and they aren't giving you direct answers, they're juking around, they're avoiding things, this is people working magical spells, because they are disgusting beings. If they wasn't disgusting, they would know how to be honest with you. They would know how to be honest with themselves. They would know how to be straightforward with it. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be so much weird or witchy shit in the middle of the process. You know what I mean? But I love communicating and engaging with different spirits and entities, and just, you know, just tapping in everybody's knowledge and frequency. You know what I mean? So I'm good at bouncing around frequencies. I could be at 88.9 and then bounce all the way up to 107.2. I don't know those stations, but I know those frequencies are far apart from each other. You know what I mean? And I've gotten so good to the point to where I can be in a place where there's multiple radio stations playing, and I can still tune into the one that I solely want to listen to. I could tune out the rest of them and tap into those. So that's how I always been with music as well. I'm a music producer. I could listen to a song, I can blank out the voice, sit the voice over here, I can start pulling instruments out that I don't want to hear and put them off to the side and solely focusing on the melody or the sound that I want to hear. You got to learn how to fine-tune your knobs so that way you can be in every frequency. When you can do that, then you don't get distracted as easily. You know what I mean? We just got to do a better job at understanding. Like, a lot of this communication out here is shitty. For one, the English language doesn't get the job done for us. You know what I'm saying? And then for two, a lot of people are just so fucking afraid and timid. Like, you have to risk it for the biscuit. Simple process. If I'm talking with a goddess, you know what I'm saying, and I could see from her pictures and her images she's moving in her godlike, then I'm not going to put her in the little demon witch category if it's just based off the pictures. Now, when we start communicating and you start giving me that demonic far off, I need to explore my sexuality and all this shit, you got to get the fuck out of here with that. Y'all are too sexualized. So any people out here saying, or females saying that they on that track, and they talking about exploring their sexuality, you're fucking weird. You're fucking weird. Everything is overly sexualized, so all you're doing is feeding into the algorithms from a different angle or a different word spell. You're still twerking, you're still showing skin, it's still oozing sexuality, it's still working the same male hormones. You put a different spin on it to make you feel better about being a spiritual whore. So I'm not a fan of that either. You know what I mean? That shit is trash. And then men, you got to do a better job at being more honest and upfront about shit. Like, nigga, you can't go out dating or doing things with other women if you cannot take care of yourself. If you cannot take care of yourself, you do not get to have a female. You do not get to have a female if you cannot take care of yourself. Especially in today's society, because most females is not trying to grow and build with you. They want somebody already established. So that means if you're getting them already established, that means that you don't have to make a whole lot of compromises with them. But if you're coming into this with me and we're building and growing together, that's compromises. That's us kind of, that's me leading, but us working together still to help each other. You know what I'm saying? I want to help my household. If you're in my household, you should want to help the household. That means we're working together, not against each other. And then we got a lot of homeboys and male associates out here who, man. Limit yourself on how much entertaining you do with your homeboys if you have any. Because a lot of that shit is going to sidetrack you from staying on your purpose. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you don't... Men, we can have multiple females, right? But you have to have a lot of value. Simple process. You don't get to have one if you cannot take care of yourself. You don't get to have two if you cannot take care of yourself and your first one. See, these demonic men is using this fucking new shit that's out here now to make it seem as though because we built differently, we can go around and be disgusting and we don't have any consequences or repercussions for it. Yes, there are consequences and repercussions for being disgusting. Yes, we can have sex with multiple people, but we are also taking in that energy as well too. Like the common sense would tell you that you still formulate some kind of spiritual connection tie. I've never engaged with somebody in that manner and just said, fuck them, unless we had some other energies that happened outside of that situation, and then I was like, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never been no one night stander myself anyways, you know what I mean? So just understanding, like, just because you can don't mean you get to, motherfucker. Simple process. Stop making it more complicated. If you don't know, then now you know. As a male, you do not, in this society, you do not get a female without being able to provide for yourself. Then you got to be able to add them on to the team. It's not no, hey, I'm working there, I'm trying to get there. Even, now I'll put this little piece on the side of the sauce because we all been westernized and warped, but it ain't no easy road for the men. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to put the fucking work in. You got to put work in. Even if you grind it at your highest potential, you still gotta put that work in. You know what I mean? You don't just get to not do it because you can or because you look good enough to get multiple females. Man, I done turned down a lot of stuff. The looks don't have anything to do with it. You know, it's about your value and your substance. Even when I used to go out to the clubs, the way I communicated was I figured out a way to have fun and lighthearted conversations. I wasn't the one who was meeting people, females, and then lying to them because we're at a club setting to where they don't know me, I don't know them, and I can lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is not gonna get you anywhere besides lowering your vibration and frequency. You know what I mean? We have to be aware of these communication tactics that these people are using. If you ask a question and they don't give you a direct answer, re-ask the question. Don't move on to the next point until they answer the question. Even if it's not a question, it's just a statement. Make sure that the conversation has some clarity in it while you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like, that shit is going to take you a long way, because we all communicate and engaging out here, and that's not going to stop or slow down anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the process right now. But I ain't want to run up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings.